If this is carried on after birth and he's trying so much to help her with the baby, but then he doesn't get the nappies right, he doesn't get the bottle, either the milk is too hot or not too warm, or he's not holding the baby right or whatever, and he's constantly reminded of how much he's a failure, this can throw a dad into a postnatal depression right away. So just wanted to share this study here because it really struck us when we saw this. It initially was a study actually coming from the UK. So this study here, this one, was also done between UK, Australia, Canada, and the US to find out what the stress levels and the isolation was for dads, because we often emphasize on mamas. But actually, in this study here, the question B12 was, in the 12 months after becoming a father for the first time, would you say your stress levels were ... And interesting, 70% of them did say that the stress levels were increased, and another 23% responded that they actually felt quite isolated. And then it led to another interesting article by a psychologist that actually said around 1 in 10 men experience depression when they become fathers, but that number is likely to be much higher as the condition is massively underreported. And then I saw another study conducted in the UK only, where there was a significant number and a shocking number of 70% of new first-time dads that experience a postnatal depression without knowing that they were in a postnatal depression. And that was quite a shocking number. So I think being in the forefront, like you are as doulas, this is where we can be sensitive around these numbers, because we know it is happening. It's not just like, someone telling someone and then it's the story of a single dad. No, it's not. It's definitely not. In Asia, where people are not used to talk about emotions because it's just not part of how the upbringing is and how the upbringing was of many of these parents, actually, I think it's even more important that we are really sensible towards it. So what are the red flags? When is it maybe a symptoms or things that you are seeing that go beyond what is in your range, and not wanting to say that it's not in your range, because a lot of it is in your range, and I highly acknowledge the work that you are doing. And for me, it would be like, it should be mandatory for all the birthing parents to have a doula. This would be really a fantastic dream to have, that all the OB-GYNs would engage doulas per se as part of their birthing protocols. But we are not in this perfect world right now. It would be really for you to have like a red flag coming up when you see that a parent, either mama or dad, is persistently overwhelmed with fear and panic attacks, or they are feeling detached from their pregnancy and are referring to the baby, not my baby or our baby, but the baby. So this could be like signs that you can pick up with your sensories. There could be also this intense grief. It's all my fault why this is going this way. It's I feel so guilty about having done this or having done that. The couples where the reason for IVF is because of him, or dads feel absolutely guilty of putting their wife through an IVF process. They feel super guilty about it. So they might carry this guilt still into birthing, maybe. So they try to maybe overcompensate, or maybe they are completely on the opposite side and completely disengaged by it because they are so fearful of doing something wrong. So these are things that you can pick up with your sensories as well. Then relationship breakdown signs. This is like when a couple has been going through tremendous intensive fertility treatments to the point where just he just lost his wife, because the wife that he got married 6 years ago, 4 years ago, was a different woman than the woman he has experiencing during these fertility treatments. All of a sudden she becomes, and I'm just exaggerating right now a little bit, all of a sudden she becomes this nagging monster that is telling him that he's a complete failure, that he's not doing this right, he's not doing that right. He can do something or he can not do something, and it's just a failure. Nothing works. And if this is carried on after birth, and he's trying so much to help her with the baby, but then he doesn't get the nappies right, he doesn't get the bottle, either the milk is too hot or not too warm, or he's not holding the baby right or whatever, and he's constantly reminded of how much he's a failure, this can throw a dad into a postnatal depression right away, because it's been just too long to hear how much of a failure he's been. So having a support system for him is super, super important. Traumatic symptoms during labor or birth preparation that are coming up, maybe a tremendous fear, or all of a sudden, I had a woman who came to see me in her last week of giving birth, because all of a sudden a sexual abuse that she experienced during childhood came up right into her face. And she was absolutely surprised by it, because she never had thought about it again in her life, because she decided as a 7-year-old girl, she would put it into that prominent black box and never to be revisited again in her life. And now she's about to give birth, about to enter into this incredible, amazing transformation of becoming a mom herself. And now this old thing is coming up. Okay, so these are the red flags for you that might be helpful to look out for it. And maybe this is the time not to, I wrote down fertility counselor, but of course, any counselors that you are familiar with, that you are working with, and that you know that your clients are in good hands with those counselors. I feel just so passionate about having a support system in place. This doesn't need to be us, it can be anyone, that you have trust and confidence that this therapist can help your clients to have an amazing birth experience. It's all what matters, the well-being of our clients. Just here quickly, counseling should help really to reduce stress and anxiety, or help with emotional well-being, help with coping skills if something comes up in a very last moment, just 3 days before giving birth. The counselor should be capable to help with those things and finding acceptance or healing or peace, or also help with a relationship that you feel like, oh, this is a red flag here. So really this is what you are looking for in the counselor.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Fertility Counselor podcast. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. If you need support or have any questions, reach out to us via email at inquiries@counselingconnects.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Fertility Connects. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to learn more about us and the services we offer, head to www.fertilityconnects.com. And if you're looking for support beyond fertility, visit www.counselingconnects.com. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.